Well, holy shit, Larian dropped a really big update for us today. We got a ton of news, a ton of confirmations, and a really big surprise for Baldur's Gate 3, the upcoming RPG. Not only did we get information on the races and classes that we'll be seeing in Baldur's Gate 3, and some really cool and interesting different little tidbits of information on the game, like how much incredible work has gone into it, but we also got a new release date. If you're a PC player who was worried about the overlap between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, you're in luck. Baldur's Gate 3 will be launching almost a full month earlier than previously announced on August 3rd. But given the sheer amount of content we're going to be seeing in the game, as briefed in this update, that still may not be enough time. On the not so great front, if you were planning on playing Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5, it's going to take a little bit longer. The game will be launching on September 6th, and they're aiming for 60 FPS. It sounds like that's what they needed to delay for, so they don't have to downgrade to 30 FPS on the PS5. So hey, at least the PS5 will have something launching on September 6th when Starfield is over there on the Xbox. And then, you know, honestly, the PlayStation 5 and Sony could use some good news after the latest FTC hearing. Better news than just, you know, higher quality Sharpies. BG3 isn't a console exclusive, but it's not quite ready for the Xbox yet. Essentially, it's in a ready when it's ready state for that game console. They want to make sure that it's high quality. The same can be said for the Mac version of the game. It's ready when it's ready. But that release date is far from all the news we got on Baldur's Gate 3 in this massive community update. We have a ton of reveals and some really mind-blowing stats on what the game is going to include, how much game we're going to actually be getting. First, the level cap. Originally, the game had planned to launch with a level cap of 10, but as they put it, the rad spells were just too irresistible to the team, so they bumped the level cap up to level 12, with the game unlocking the likes of Planar Allies, Chain Lightning, and Otto's Irresistible Dance, which, knowing Larian, that last one is going to be kind of fantastic to see in game.
Writing my next song about you.
We also got confirmation on the races that will be in the game, and yes, there will be Dragonborn. That's what you all wanted to hear, right? Of the announcements for BG3, people were waiting for. This may have been one of the most hotly anticipated. Baldur's Gate 3 will feature 11 races with 31 sub-races, including but not limited to the newly announced Dragonborn, Half-Orcs, and Dwergar. Those 31 sub-races, freaking 10 of them are going to be for the Dragonborn, who will pick from red, copper, brass, blue, bronze, black, gold, green, silver, and white, with chromatic and metallic scales to match. We'll get a first look at Dragonborn in action on the final panel from Hell, a live showcase from Larian that's always a good time. And that will be taking place on July 7th, so mark your calendar. If you're unfamiliar with how panels of Hell go, this line from the update may actually help get you in the mood for what to expect. Half-Orcs are one of the most resilient races in the game. To quote from the pros of Chumbawamba, they get knocked down, but then get up again. And yes, they really did link it directly to the music video. The most exciting news for me, besides, of course, the fact that I need to clear my fucking calendar really a lot earlier than I thought, is the announcement of the Monk class, the class that we've all kind of known was coming but didn't have that final confirmation. It is the last class to be added after multiples were added throughout the early access period. The Monk is being described as a balance between fighter and rogue, with the ability to easily traverse the map and push and pull enemies across the battleground using forceful key punches. And honestly, they just look freaking cool. Just watch this Monk smack this Dracolich in the face. Don't you almost feel bad for the Dracolich in this scenario? But if you're not feeling the monk, there's still going to be huge updates to the other classes to be excited about. BG3 will go live with a full 12 classes, but the 11 other classes will also be getting at least one new subclass, bumping those subclasses up to 46 different subclasses. If you've been following Baldur's Gate 3 or playing in early access, you're probably well acquainted with many of the origin characters. These are your companion characters, of which Larian takes special care in crafting. We've already met Asterion, Gale, Shadowheart, Lae'zel, and Will. The internet's love affair with Asterion is getting pretty legendary at this point. But Larian surprised us in this update not just with the confirmation of Karlach as the 6th origin character, but also teasing a 7th origin character that will be announced in the final panel from Hell, which again is July 7th, y'all. These origin characters are joined by 4 other companion characters, Halsin, Jaheira, Minsk, and Minthara. They've gotten rid of the idea of locking your companions past Act 1, so you'll be able to mix and match your companions throughout, and romance almost all of them. There are a lot more details in this update, such as spells, difficulty levels, and more, but I wanted to just kind of hit the highlights for this video. As we get ready to lose ourselves in this carefully crafted world, which already has the inside track for Game of the Year for me, let's leave with some stats. Over 2 million people have already purchased the game in early access. The game has been in development for nearly 6 years with a team of 400 people. There will be over 600 spells and actions in the game to run rampant all across Faerûn and With. To put that in perspective, Divinity Original Sin 2 had 225 player spells and actions. BG3 has over 308 passive feats compared to just 45 in Divinity Original Sin 2. Baldur's Gate 3 has more cinematic dialogue than 3 times all 3 Lord of the Rings novels combined. With over 1.2 million words in the trilogy, and roughly 1 million of those describing trees, that leaves at least 200,000 words of dialogue. It has over 178 hours of cinematics, making it twice as long as the entire length of every Game of Thrones season. And I'd hazard a guess that Larian will handle the ending of Baldur's Gate 3 quite a bit better than Season 8 of Game of Thrones. My name is Redbeard Flynn. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like or a subscription. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
He's not the kind of man who takes kindly to captivity. The cult captured him. I almost feel sorry for them.